Math is more intriguing when it's about math and not other things. But we have an arithmetic series. Okay. It is a sum of terms that forms an arithmetic sequence. For example, the arithmetic sequence 4, 7, 10, 13. The corresponding arithmetic series would be 4 plus 7 plus 10 plus 13. In order to derive a formula, we can use the arithmetic series 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then all the way to 100. Here's the derivation. So if we take all the terms and we add them up, we get 1, 2, 3, 4, all the way to 10, to 100, Tn. Then we can do 100 all the way to 1, to T1. Now, if we add the terms together, vertically, as in T1 plus Tn, this is the sum we would get. We would get PSN, 2SN, I can't speak, equals 101 plus 101 plus 101 plus 101, a whole bunch of 101s. And since we know their total number of terms, we'd have TSN equals n over 101. So we can do 2SN equals n T1 plus Tn, and you get this lovely formula. You're welcome. It's given to you. Just trust it, if that freaked you out. So we have a sum of an arithmetic series. And you're going to get a formula sheet this week in a nice little plastic cover. You just don't have it right now. So this is one of the formulas. So remember with arithmetic sequence, I told you the moment you see arithmetic sequence, you have one formula. That's your choice. If you're like, what formula should I use? That one. That's it. There's only one. Correct? Well, with series, there's often more than one. So this is one. Sn equals n bracket T1 plus Tn divided by 2. What do you think Sn stands for?
Some numbers.
Yeah. So sum of a certain number of terms, right? Sum of n terms, whatever n might be. What does n stand for? It's the same as before. Number of terms. What does T1 stand for? It's the same as well. Term 1, yep. First term, term 1. And what does Tn stand for? Also, it can be general term, but it also can be what?
Last term.
Yep, last term. If you want the general term of Sn, you would leave Sn out and n out, right? But you do actually fill in Tn this time, if you want the general sum term. Okay. Next page. We have that written. Did you say bass?
Yeah.
About the fish?
Yeah.
Good. Just to make sure we heard it right. Okay, then we have another formula. This one is Sn equals n over 2 T1 plus n minus 1d. So Sn is what still? It's the sum of the n terms. That doesn't change, right? This one has T1, which is the first term. N, which is the number of terms. And D, which is the common what? Difference. So we have two formulas, which will be used depending on what information we're given. We'll pick which one. What is the difference between the two formulas? What does one have and the other one doesn't have? What does one have and the other one doesn't have? This one has D. The other one has, bless you, Tn. So you use this formula. Use when you know the common difference. which is D. Then you go back to the previous page and you say use when you know what? Tn, the last term. And I would go write that down because you know it now, but then you're going to go and learn more and then you're going to forget it. So these are your notes. This is what you study from. Go back to the previous page and write use when you know Tn, or the last term. Right, Demideros? You writing it down?
I did that. I wrote it down before you told us. Yeah.
Gold star. Okay. What's non-negotiable? What do we have to have for both of these? What's in both formulas that you have to have? Sorry?
T1.
You need to have T1 and N. So in order to use arithmetic series formulas, you have to have T1 and N. If you don't have T1 or N, you're going to have to find them, because you can't use either formula without them. Both formulas have T1, both formulas have N. So if you don't have T1 and N, you ain't finding no sums. Okay? But if you have D, you use the second one. If you have Tn, you can use the first one. But T1 and N are non-negotiable. You have to find them if you do not have them. Okay? All right. So let's go here. Determine the, oh my gosh, the reading skills right now are very subpar. Determine the sum of each arithmetic series. What did I tell you is non-negotiable?
And then
N and
T1.
T1, right? Then if I'm given Tn, I use the first formula, D, I use the second formula. So let's write down what I do have. I have T1, which is 14. I have Tn, which is negative 86. I have D, which is 10 minus 14, which is negative 4. I do not have N. So I have Tn and D. I could use either formula, correct? But I'm stuck right now. Do you see that? I need T1 and N in order to use either of those formulas. How can I get N? Yes, with the normal sequence formula, with the formula we learnt before. So if you're missing N or you're missing T1, you have to use the arithmetic sequence formula to find out what it is. Okay? So even though this is a series question, and that's lovely, we're going to have to use sequences and find N first. So she's completely correct. So let's use the sequence formula. So Tn is negative 86 equals T1, which is 14, plus N minus 1 we don't know, and D is negative 4. What can I move next? Yeah. You can, but you're going to make more work for yourself. What could you do first? Yeah. And if you do distribute, it's totally fine. You just make more steps. Yeah. So subtract 14. And honestly, when I first started teaching this, I was like, distribute. And then I was like, why are we doing that? Because I was making way more work for you guys. So if you don't distribute, you move the 14 over, and then you'll divide, and then you won't have to worry about the distributing. So negative 86 minus 14 is negative 96, minus 4 is negative 100, equals N minus 1 times negative 4. And then what am I going to do? You could distribute, but instead it's faster if you divide the negative 4 over. And N always has to be positive and not a decimal, because N is the number of terms. And did you see that N was a decimal in the word problem, but then we had to round up to get to the next day? So in word problems, you could have an N decimal, but when you're solving these out, they show us whole numbers. So we're get 25 equals N minus 1, add 1, N equals 26. Now we need to find the sum. You can cross this one out. We're going to put it here. So I'm going to, when you try it, you're not going to try that one. You're going to try 5 plus 6.5 plus 8 This middle's going away. This will be B. So, we know it's 26. We can use either formula, right? Because I know dn, I know tn. I know which formula I will always pick if I have a choice. The first one, because it's shorter. That's the only reason why. The first one is less work, right? So I'll show you. We'll come right back to here. But if you look, this one, this is the second formula if you have d. It's n over 2 t1 plus n minus 1d, right? Lots of stuff. If we go to the first one, though, it's just n times t1 plus tn over 2. It's faster, right? So if I have tn, I'm always picking that one. So it's Sn equals n t1 plus tn over 2. And now I'm going to find S what? 26, right? So you go S26. The 26 goes in for that n as well, so you know it's the sum of the first 26 term. That's what you're telling it. So S26 equals 26, bracket t1, which is 14, plus negative 86, divided by 2. So plug that in and see if you get the same answer as me. Should this number be positive or negative if we're summing them all up? 14, 10, 6, then it's going to be 2, then it's going to be negative 2 by the fifth term. The sum is probably really negative, correct? Because the first four terms are positive, and then after that they're negative. So you're going to add a whole bunch of negatives, right? So I get negative 936, which makes sense. If you get positive and you have this as your sequence, you should be like, something is wrong. Because I have 5 terms that are going to be positive, and I'm already at negatives and adding. For another, like, 21 terms, it should be a negative number when I'm summing it. So S26 is negative 936. You guys star this question because this one's done the most poorly. And you know why it's done the most poorly? Because you have to remember to use the arithmetic sequence formula to get n first, right? So there's that extra step where you have to find n first from the arithmetic sequence formula. It's done poorly out of all the questions because you forget to find n and you just sit there and stare at it for a while. Okay? You guys are going to try B off to the side here. You're going to try this one. So the first thing you're going to have to do is find n. See where we're at. So we know T1 is 5. We know Tn is 26. We know D is 6.5 minus 5, which is 1.5. And n is what we don't know and we have to find. So we do Tn, which is 26, equals T1, which is 5, plus n minus 1 times 1.5. First thing we're going to do is subtract 5. So we get 21 equals n minus 1 divided by 1.5, or times 1.5. Divide by 1.5. Dividing by 3/2, which is multiplied by 2/3, so we get 42 divided by 3 is 1. That's not going to work out nicely, is it? 42. That's 14. 14 with n minus 1. Don't know why I put that in brackets. So n equals 15. And then we can use the first formula, right? The easier one. So we're going to go S15 equals n times T1, which is 5, plus Tn, which is 26, divided by 2. So it's going to be 31 times 15. $475 divided by 2. Is that true? Be a decimal. Is it a decimal? Okay. 237.5. Yeah? Is it 232? Mrs. Lepp should do her long division properly instead of trying to guess and hold numbers. It's not a good situation.
Do 5 off.
No, it's because I didn't do my proper division. 2, 4, 0, 7, 3, 6, 1, 15. No, something's wrong with the math. It's 232. This is going to equal to 7. So the 475 must be. 232.5? It's the 31 times 15 that has to be wrong. Oh, yeah. It's 465. 465.
I think I got it right.
So it's going to be 2, 3, 2.5. It was my multiplication that was the problem, not my division. Okay. This one, I'm not telling you what to do. I want you to find the sum. You have two formulas. What's the very first thing you should do? See if it's arithmetic or not. It's arithmetic. You've been taught nothing else. And then write down your what? What you know. Write down what you know, and then see if there's a formula that can work with it. You have two formulas, right? So write down your D, write down your T1. It gives you your N. It literally tells you, find the first 12 terms. Okay? So write them down, write what you know, and use the formula that works for it. Hint, it's the second one. So we know T1 is 4. We know D is 9 minus 4, which is 5. And we know N is 12, and we need S 12, technically. So we know we are given D and not Tn, correct? So we know we have to use the second formula, which is Sn equals N divided by 2 bracket 2T1 plus N minus 1D. Did I write it out right? My brain is too many math classes. Is that correct? I flip between you guys, Calc AP, then you, then 30-1, and my brain just...
Oh, you didn't put it divided by 2.
Is it... No, I do have it. I have N divided by 2. Oh, you just use that one.
Oh.
Same thing. You same answer. This is the one on your front. But they're the same. Okay. S12 equals 12 divided by 2. And then 2 times 4 plus 12 minus 1 times 5. So we're going to get 6. And then 8 plus 11 times 5 is 55. So we get 6 times 63. 378. Did you get 378? Okay. Then we're going to move down to example 3. Another type of question you could get is one where I give you the sum and ask you to find something else, right? N, T1, D, whatever it may be. So we're going to look at example 3. For this one. So we have to look at what we know. Okay? For each arithmetic series, determine the number of terms. So the only thing I can be missing is n, because that's what it wants me to find, correct? What did it give me? It gave me the first term, it gave me the last term, it gave me the sum. Which formula am I using? First or second? First, because it has the last term in it. So the first formula is Sn equals n T1 plus Tn. There's a wonky spot in my board that makes me look like I'm riding on a bus. And then divided by 2. So let's fill it in. We get negative 950. Equals n. T1 is negative 2 plus negative 74 divided by 2. I can put the bracket together. Negative 950 equals n times negative 76 divided by 2. And then I can actually put these together. Negative 76 divided by 2. So I get negative 950 equals, what's negative 76 divided by 2? Negative 30, yeah, n. And then divide by negative 38. I guess it'd be like 27. No, 39. Yeah, 27. Near round to guess. What is 950 divided by 38? Maybe 26. What do you get, Rihanna? 25. I'm so close. I just went 30 into 100 is 3 times, and then 3 times 9 is 27, and then it has to be less than that. So I said 26, but I was 1 off. It's like when your teacher makes you do estimation in elementary school, and you just get mad because you just want to find the answer properly. That was me. But estimation is helpful. All right. We're going to example 5. Oh, down here. Try example 5, please. This one. And then we're going to do this one together. So for this one, we have Sn equals n t1 plus tn divided by 2. Sn is 608 equals n bracket t1 is 8 plus 68 divided by 2. 608 equals 76 divided by 2, which is 38 again. Divide by 38. Is it 14? 13? 16. I would have guessed 16 first off, then I thought it was too much. Oh, so disappointing. I just had a little tantrum, I'm fine. Okay. I'll look through my tantrum emotions. What are you doing? You just dance it out every so often, hey? Okay. What's the difference in the try? Different formula because I gave you, and not Tn. So, Sn equals n divided by 2 bracket 2t1 plus n minus 1d. So I'm going to go, what's up, homie? Who are you looking for?
Sam Sloan in this class, or is he skipping again?
He's right there.
He skips a lot.
He's right there.
Period, so I might not be here.
He's right there.
He is here. That's awkward.
You already got yours, Ted.
Sam Skippy Sloan, do you guys call him that here, or is that just the football thing?
S squared.
Huh?
S cubed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sam Skippy Sloan. That's what
Yeah, we'll
it's
call you
called,
S
Skippy
cubed.
for short.
I call him S cubed because we're in math, Crawford. Get with it.
You ever teach this kid called Dimidaros? I'll tell you all these names now.
Yes. Like, oh, this is getting recorded.
It is?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh,
I hate him.
I mean, Sam, super always on time Sloan.
Yeah, and Nick Demidaros is great.
Ah, he's alright. He's funny. You want a good laugh, hang with Dimidaros. He's funny.
Thanks, guys.
So we have 279, 18. No. Okay, so we have 2 T1 we don't know, plus n, which is 18 minus 1. Why do you have a straw? Oh, it's the egg thing. It looks like it's going to suck, Lucas. I'm recording, and I forgot. It looks great. It's going to be awesome. All right. So we have 279 equals 9. Stop talking, Nick. 2T1. 17 times negative 3 is negative 50. Negative 51. And then what do I do next? What do I do next? Reverse BEDMAS. So there's some stuff in brackets. Can't touch that. Yes. Divide by 9.
Wait, why reverse?
Whenever you solve for a variable, you do reverse BEDMAS.
Oh.
You undo. So if my options, all I had there was brackets and multiplication, so I have to do the multiplication first. Because you're undo in reverse bedmaster rules to solve. 279 divided by 9 is 30. So 31 equals 2t1 plus negative 51. Add 51. We get 82 equals 2t1. Divide by 2. And t1 is 41. Or 41 en français. Thanks, you probably answer it within seconds. What's up? You didn't have T1. How did you solve it? I don't know either.